So today I'm going to show you how to replace this spool here on a black&decker trimmer. You can see it's a black&decker trimmer. This has been heavily used and sometimes you need to replace this spool. So in order to replace this spool, you have to figure out where you can get the spool. And if you look in the description, there's a link to where you can buy this spool. And you can also buy the orange part here that we're going to replace. When you buy the spool here, the orange part sometimes doesn't come with it, but I'll have links to both in the description. So let's get going. There's a spring here. This spring is going to be needed as well once we put the spool in there. And this is where the orange cover is going to attach to. Now, sometimes when these springs come, they're not wide enough for the orange cover because the orange cover is going to go in here. So you have to pry it open a little bit and make the spring a little wider to fit the orange cover, which is going to go in here. The first thing you want to make sure is that you obviously have the spools, and I have some spools here. I'm going to put the old one back, but this is what the spools look like. It comes with the line already in it. So all you do is you remove it and you put it into the trimmer. So in order to put the spool, you can see there's two sides. There's the side with the arrow, and then the other side here that doesn't have the arrow. That's the side that's going to go facing up, right? Facing the trimmer. So you can see we're going to go ahead and put it there. And then what we're going to do is, once we put it there, you can see this little hole right here. That's where the string is going to come from. It's going to come from this little hole. So let's go ahead and do that. So I fed it through the hole. And then I'm going to go ahead and take this. You don't want to unwind it too much. And I'll go ahead and place it like so. And notice what I did here. So I'm going to pull it through. And when I pull it through, you can see that the string is actually too big. We have to cut it, and we have to cut it right here. So anything beyond this point here, this guard, you need to cut. But anyways, this spool is back in here, and now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and add the cover. Because you can see I already put the spring, so you actually have to put the spring in here, and sometimes this is a pain to put the spring in there. You have to loosen the spring. But you can see the spring, there's one side that's has a bigger opening than the other side. So the bigger opening side is actually the side that goes up against the spool like this. All right, so the smaller opening here on the spring goes on the orange cover. If you don't have this spring, the spool is not going to work correctly. So on the official instructions for Black & Decker, they show the spring, but they don't tell you how to put it. So you want to make sure that you put the spring on there just like this. And you can see one side is narrower than the other side. So the narrow side is the side that faces the cover. So on the cover, you can see that we have this little thing here. That's where the narrow side of the spring is going to go, which is this side. So you can see that's a lot wider than this one. It is a pain to get that in there like this. So you're going to have to wiggle it in and do what you can to get it in there and maybe stretch it a little bit. But that's what you need to do. Once that's in there, then the wider part here that we have, that goes in there like this, with the cover attached. So the cover is going to go like that on top. So the first thing to do is go ahead and put the narrow side of the spring onto the cover and then put the cover back on the spool. So again, here you can see I have one that I already did, and that's what we're going to do. We're going to go ahead and just put the cover back on there. And you'll notice that when we put the cover back on there, that these tabs here, they want to go ahead and come out of this this opening here on either side. So the tabs are going to sit like that. And you can see on either side there's an opening here, and then there's an opening there. And what you want to do is with the spool, you want to line it up so that this notch here is aligned with these opened areas here where the cover is going to snap. You can see we put that in there like that. And then we're going to go ahead and just snap it in there. So it's here. So that one just snapped in there, as you can see. And then the back one here. So if I turn it this way, and then that one snapped in there as well. So that's about it. So you can see that it's in there. It's nice and tight now. And the last thing to do, so you can see how it is, snapped in there, and then on the other side, it's snapped in there as well. Without that spring, the line here is not going to come out when it needs to. So now the last thing to do is just basically cut it here. And then once we cut it, we're good to go. So you can see I did cut it, and this is basically all you need for now, right? And as you can see, it reaches pretty much the edge of the trimmer here, the trimmer guard, but doesn't go beyond it like I used to. So that's basically all you need to do in order to go ahead and replace the spool and make it work again. And of course, I have links in the description. I hope this has been helpful. As I was saying on the Black& Decker instruction videos, they show you how to put the cover, but not the spring. The spring is very important. You need to put the spring, then the cover. All right, hope this has been helpful. Links are in the description. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe, and we'll see you in the next video.